Hiya!
Hey ninjas, welcome to Hiya. I am Grasshopper Shelley, and this is Sensei Daniel, and Sensei Daniel, and this is Grasshopper Boomadoom.
He's guest starring today.
He is.
Until he decides to lay down and go out of view.
Yes.
So, until he gets tired of being on the show, here's Boomer. Uh-oh,
getting sleepy. Welcome to the Cobrakai Dojo, where we are going to talk about, what else? Cobrakai. So today, we've been going through characters, and today we are going to talk about Xolo Mariduena. I practiced it and I
know
messed
that's
it
a
up.
tough one to pronounce.
Yeah, I think it's Mariduena, but we're just going to call him Xolo. But he's also known as Miguel Diaz. And I'm going to go through some stats and fun facts about him. And then Sensei Daniel is going to elaborate a little more on the character of Miguel.
That is correct. So, without further ado, roll out with some facts about Xolo.
All right. Xolo was born June 9th in 2001, so he's our son's age. He was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. He started acting professionally in 2011. He stands at a height of 5'11" and 3/4 inches, and he is of Mexican, Cuban, and Ecuadorian heritage.
Oh, so he in fact does have some Ecuadorian in him.
He does. His TV roles that he has been in, of course, we all know about Cobra Kai. He has also been in Parenthood, Twin Peaks.
Oh.
I didn't know that. Major Crimes, Victor and Valentino, Cleopatra in Space, Fast and Furious, Spy Racers.
I was not aware he was in a Fast and Furious either.
He is a busy young man.
Wasn't he also in that Blue Beetle movie?
That's coming up.
Oh, okay. Don't
He
let me get
read
ahead
my
of you.
mind.
Don't let me get ahead of you.
His movie roles is Blue Beetle from 2023. This is a DC Comics superhero film. So, he read my mind. He is the sensei. His other roles include, he voices characters in Invincible, Batwheels, Moon Girl, and Devil Dinosaur, The Boys Presents Diabolical, and Wu-Tang, An American Saga. He appears in the short with Tina, and he also did quite a few commercials. In real life, he enjoys Shotokan karate, dancing, and singing, and he lives with his parents in Los Angeles, California. You want to hear some awards or nominations that he has received?
Certainly, of course we do.
Okay. He was nominated in 2014 for Young Artist Award, Best Performance in a TV Series Supporting Young Actor. Also that year, 2014, he actually won Young Artist Award for Outstanding Young Ensemble in a TV series. In both 2014 and 2015, he was nominated for the Imogen Award for Best Young Actor on TV.
Well, sounds like he was having a good Imogen going on.
Yes. And here's some fun facts, if you'd like to hear.
Well, of course, we love a good fun fact.
All right. How old was he when he started playing Miguel? Do you know? Take a gander. Take a guess.
17?
And he goes 16.
Ah.
Close. He was 16 years old when he started playing Miguel. His birth name is actually Romario. And this combines the name of his maternal uncles, Ramon and Mario.
Well, Xolo is cooler.
Yeah, I like Xolo.
Anytime you can start your name with an X, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool in my book, too. He has 4 sisters, and he took karate for about a year or so when he was young, and he didn't get really serious about it until he was cast in Cobra Kai.
Ah.
And those are my fun facts, and my throwing star failed. I failed to sensei.
Alright, so let's talk about Xolo as Miguel and how his character developed on the show. I'm going to say developed with Miguel only because Miguel is one of only a few characters that your mind doesn't really change about him throughout the series. Miguel's pretty much a good dude, and you're always rooting for him throughout the whole series. You can't say that about everybody, trust me. So I was a little, and so my segment may be pretty short because even though his character develops a lot throughout the series, like I said, you don't change how you feel about him like you do with a lot of the characters. So he starts out as this pimply-faced, brace-faced nerd. I mean, nerd.
Yeah.
And he meets Johnny out in the apartment complex while he's throwing some trash out or whatever. Of course, Johnny calls him out for being a nerd and an immigrant.
Yeah, old school. Racism doesn't even enter the picture for them.
So later on, he beats up these dudes that are hassling Miguel later that same evening, actually. You've seen the show. So Johnny starts teaching him cobrakai. Kind of slowly, but that's how the training goes. And over time, Miguel's gaining a lot of confidence, even though he's not a great fighter yet. He's striking first, not just, with his fist, but like taking action. Like he didn't wait around to ask the LaRusso girl out, So he's gaining a lot of confidence pretty early on in his training, even though he's not a strong fighter yet. Okay? So as his training goes on, obviously he starts to become a good fighter, and he even ends up beating up a bunch of bullies that we're going to get to on next week's show, believe it or not, because we're trying to do these as much in order as we can. We're going to have to group up some characters because there's not a whole lot to say about them.
Yeah.
But anyway, he beats the crap out of Kyler and his buddies in the cafeteria.
I love it.
So suddenly he's popular now and confident, and everybody's wanting to be a part of this Cobra Kai thing. Aisha, which we'll be getting to go over with soon, that'll probably be out on a combo show too, because she doesn't make it through all the seasons. After the big fight in the school, she's gone, except for one more show.
But, she does whoop some butt.
She does, and
she learns a lot.
She's the first female that Johnny agrees to train.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, that's her show.
Yep, sorry.
Talking about
I
Miguel
digress.
Yes, she will digress this time. So he becomes more popular, he becomes more confident, he wins the All Valley, and then, of course, he has the big fight at the school and becomes paralyzed. And so at that point, he, during his recovery, rejects karate and Johnny and all that until he actually is doing real recovery and walking again, thanks to Johnny. Hi, buddy. Boomer's back to join us again. So then he kind of becomes disenchanted with karate after the next All Valley tournament. And he goes to seek out his father, and he does a lot of growing emotionally during this trip. especially when he sees that Johnny came all the way down to Mexico to rescue him. You know, he breaks down in tears and he has an emotional breakthrough. And then, of course, the next part of his character is learning to get along with Robbie Keane, his, up to this point, arch enemy throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they wrote that in to bring those two together on the same side, because they're two of my favorite characters. I've already told you Robbie Keane's one of my favorite characters. So I was glad that they made that happen. But throughout the whole thing, Miguel's a good egg. Even when Cobra Kai starts going south, he starts going south with it, but he never feels right about it. I mean, he feels pretty right about kicking Hawk's ass, but that's only because he's going to take that Medal of Honor back because he wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So, Miguel, and we're going to go over this with the younger LaRusso kid too, Anthony, struggled. He did some wrong things, but he never really wanted to. You can tell that every time Kreese pushes him down that dark path, he goes down it, but he never feels right about it. But like I said, I think he did feel pretty right about kicking out Hawk's ass and taking that medal back. So that in a nutshell, as you can see at the end of the series, Miguel's got some long curly locks. He's turned out to be a pretty decent looking kid. He's not some gangly, brace-faced, pimply-faced nerd anymore.
He drank his milk.
He's confident in who he is. He's He's happy with his relationship with Johnny as a sensei and a stepdad.
Like a role model.
So, yeah, that's like I said, there's not a lot to say about Miguel because you like him the whole time.
Mm-hmm. He's a nice kid.
Yeah, he's always
kind.
doing the right thing, which I guess that's one of my other favorite parts, not just that him and Robbie started getting along, but that he spent that day in the old car with Daniel-san and heard his side of the story and learned that Johnny and Daniel-san both have different sides of the same story, which is kind of what Ali said. There's your side, and then there's the truth.
Right.
That was a pretty accurate statement, and you can tell that Miguel gets that during that moment, so that's part of his maturing also, is the perception of being able to view things from more than just one person's side. Even though Johnny's everything to him, nobody's right about everything, and nobody's side is always 100% the truth.
Right.
We all embellish things when we see fit, and that's how you end up with different sides of the same story.
Yep.
So at any rate, that's pretty much Miguel in a nutshell. Like I said, we're going to have to combo up some characters, and next week will be one of those shows. So we'll be doing like Kyler and... What the... Dang, now I forgot what the big dude's name was. I just told you right before this show.
Hopper? No.
Hobbs or something. I don't know. The
He's
big
the
dude.
Bigger kid,
the big dude that
it's like got reddish hair.
knocks his teeth out. We're doing him and Big Red. I'm not sure there's anything to say about Big Red. I can only think of one speaking role that he even has in the series when, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But, so I'm not sure there's going to be a lot to say about Big Red. But we're going to go ahead and throw Anthony LaRusso in there, and Yaz, and Moon. We're going to combine all those people I just talked about into one show so that it's not a 2-minute show. But then the show after that will be Samantha LaRusso. She'll get her own show. And then if memory serves me, if we're trying to do these in the right order, after that, my man's got to go to the body shop and see Danielson again. So, be doing the whole, how, even if his character doesn't necessarily change, how your perception of Danielson changes from the movie to Cobra Kai, and then evolves from the beginning of Cobra Kai to the end of Cobra Kai. Because there's some times in Cobra Kai where you start to think back, you're like, man, maybe Daniel was a little bit of an a-hole too, you know what I mean? So we'll go over those moments. Anyway, that's all we have to say about Xolo and Miguel.
He's a really good actor.
He is.
I like him.
He's an easy guy to root for.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Oh,
an easy
yeah,
guy to
for
root
sure.
for.
You root for him like the whole way through.
So yeah, next week will be that combo show of all those characters I just mentioned. We'll cram them all together, and then Samantha, and then Danielson, and we'll go from there. You know, they all kind of come flooding in after that. Amanda, as Shelley mentioned, the guys working at the dealership. We'll combine them up. You know, cousin Louie and Anoush. Anyway, I think that's it for this week. So until next week. Hiya!
Hiya!